Good morning, y'all. It is gross outside today. Just like cold and wet and windy. Get on, guys. Hey, goofies. Hey, goofy boys. Both of these clowns sleep in our room in crates. But they wake up so early. And usually whenever we get up to wake Jackson up for the bus, we put them out back where they play. No, you're not going in here. Stop, stop. Con is learning manners. Bear knows manners, but forgets them when Con is around. Little stinkers. I have a sick goat. I'll be honest. Putting stuff like this on YouTube is hard to do. It's easy whenever I'm showing the garden and even sharing those mistakes, because it's like, oh, a plant died, and you know, nobody gets upset about that. You get advice and it's great. It's a great community. The animal side of homesteading is a little bit harder to share. Now, you might not be someone who's quick to criticize, but I've watched some of my very dear friends be very vulnerable on YouTube, sharing their journey as homesteaders, the mistakes they've made, or the things that were completely outside their control, and I've watched them just be completely trashed by people who honestly just don't have a dog in the fight. We've been keeping goats for 2 years now. We have lost a handful since we started, and we started with a lot of goats. So, I mean, you know, the more you have, the more likely you are to have something go wrong. And every single one of them has been a heartbreaking loss, because when it comes to big animals like this, I mean, you put a lot into them. You know, you expect a long life expectancy out of them, and whenever you lose one, it's hard. You know, it's an investment of your time, your money, and your emotions in a very large way. So we got home from the Homesteaders of America conference, and one of our baby goats that was born this year had died. We had one of our brothers coming and taking care of the farm while we were gone, and this particular little goat had gotten off to the side, and we thought by looking at him that he was killed by a predator. It was Ben's little goat, Carson Jordan, and we were really heartbroken. We were really sad, but we thought it was a predator, so we've just been really cautious. We've been checking on every little sound, making sure there are no predators messing with our goats. We've been keeping them up by the house in this pen right by our bedroom window so we can hear if anything's going on. But then a couple mornings we came out, and another one of the little babies that was born this year had died overnight. And we'd been out with her the day before. We didn't see anything wrong. We were thinking, what in the world? So we went through and checked everybody. We checked everybody's eyelids, we checked for worms, we checked, and everybody looked really good. We were like, I have no idea what's going on. We don't have anybody showing any symptoms of anything, no runny noses, no diarrhea, no anything. So yesterday, another one of the babies starts showing some symptoms of kind of stumbling and her back legs giving her a hard time. So I called my friend Rose over at Wholesome Farmstead, and she's kind of like the go-to goat person on YouTube. I know a lot of people call her. She knows a lot about goats. And she did some troubleshooting with me, and we feel like what it is either polio or listeria, which they're treated the same way. And so I started treatment on Ducky last night. She's not looking that great this morning, but I'm going to continue treating her. You give penicillin and fortified B complex every 6 hours around the clock. So maybe she'll turn around today after, you know, 24 hours of treatment. I'm going to keep coming out and giving her the treatment every 6 hours. I tell you all of this to update you, because I know some of you are sincerely invested in what we're doing here. And the other reason why I tell you is because honestly I'm tempted to hide it. There's a huge temptation when producing media to gloss over everything that is hard or sad or unsavory and just produce things that would make people feel good. Now, I have not done that with my personal life. I've shared with you guys the real struggles, the real hurts, and the real things that we've gone through in our personal life, you know, to a level that's appropriate to share. I feel like, you know, I don't go into great depths. We have to maintain some level of privacy. But when it comes to the farm, I know that there are a lot of you out there that are watching this channel and many others like mine, because one day you aspire to have a life like this. And if I were to gloss over the fact that sometimes you are going to cry over lifeless bodies in your yard, I would be lying to you. If I were to pretend like that's not a reality of this life, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you know, and no matter how much you do, I mean, it wouldn't be honest. Come here. I'm not feeling great about how she's acting this morning. She can't stand up. I honestly don't feel great about how she's acting, but I mean, I feel 99% certain that what the symptoms are is what we believe it is either polio or listeriosis. It's hard to discern between the two because the symptoms are really similar and the treatment's really similar. So I'm just gonna keep going with the treatment and just hope that she pulls through. We are giving some precautionary shots of fortified vitamin B to the other babies, just on the off chance that they have contracted this as well, because you know, the earlier you catch things, the better. And I don't want to start them on antibiotics without any symptoms at all, because I don't want to whack their rumen like that. But like, I am going to go ahead and give them the vitamin B, and we went ahead and made sure that they were just like up to date on everything that they needed. Sucky. I don't like this part.
Yeah, this is the part that makes you want to quit.
One of the things that very well could have caused this issue is, honestly, it was our fault. We feed our hay in a round bale like this, and while we were gone, the round bale got really low, and it's been raining a lot, and we've gotten rid of a lot of goats lately. And so, I mean, our herd is about 7 smaller than it was just a few months ago, because we've sold several, maybe even more than that. We've sold several goats, so they're not going through this hay as quickly. It's also getting colder. It's not sunny, it's not hot, and it's been raining a lot. And so when that hay bale got really low, it could have possibly gotten a little moldy, and that's what caused listeriosis. And that's the only thing that I can think of. Rose was explaining to me that, you know, it could have been a little pile of leaves in the corner of the yard that they found that had some mold in them, and they ate them. You know, it can be completely out of your control, but to handle it responsibly, I have to look at everything that is in my control and think, could that have caused it? And if the answer is yes, I have to change that. So it doesn't happen again, because that's responsible animal husbandry. So we're actually going to come up with some sort of cover for this hay bale to keep it from getting rained on, so that it doesn't mold through the winter. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do on that, but it's on the list to make sure we get done. We did go ahead and scrape up all that was left of that other hay bale here and put out that new one, so that they wouldn't be eating on any remnants of hay that might be moldy. Hey, Legs. What are you doing? What are you doing? You excited? Are you excited? Hey, little homie. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Look at those sweet angels. I don't think you need to be playing with the tractor key. Hand it over. Thank you. I love you.
Hey.
I don't know what else to do for her.
No, I know that the Bologna vet will take goats. So if you wanted to take her, I'd be okay with it, just to see. But honestly, Rose knows what she's talking about. I don't know that they'll do anything other than what we're doing.
No, I mean, I'm like talking to Rose and then just reading everything online. Like, the symptoms match perfectly with those things. I don't think that it could be anything else, and that is the agreed upon treatment across the board. So I just don't know that there's anything else to do.
No. Yeah, I agree. Do you want to bring her inside maybe and keep her closer to her?
That might be good. Let's do that. We're feeding Ducky a mix of molasses, pumpkin puree, and yogurt. Just to get some nutrition in her system, things that will help her rumen. Rose calls it gruel. It actually smells pretty good. She likes it?
Yeah, she would eat it. And I have some, I taste a little baby.
You tasted it? What did you think about it?
I taste this one.
What did you think about it?
It tastes good.
Yeah, don't eat any more though, okay?
Yeah.
I don't feel fantastic about how Duck is doing, but she could be worse, definitely. She's still not able to stand, but she's alert. She's not doing anything weird. She's not showing any signs of being in a great amount of pain. And as you can see, she's very readily eating this gruel mix, so that's a good thing.
Taking care of my grandfather.
Or your 3-year-old.
Or a 3-year-old.
We should probably get her off the table now. Why is there a goat on my kitchen table? At the deluxe apartment. We're out here dosing Ducky and feeding her the gruel mix again. And she's improving significantly. She has tried to stand up a couple of times, not successfully. She's able to get up on her front legs, but not her back legs. But as you can see, she's way, way more alert and sturdy and upright than she was even just earlier today. Hey, little lady, was that yummy? Was that yummy?
Is it done?
Almost.
It's done.
One of the things that comes up a lot whenever you have a small farm and you share it online is, you know, if you get a sick animal, people are like, why don't you just take it to the vet? And part of animal husbandry, especially keeping livestock animals like we have our goat herd, is that you have to learn how to do a lot of the medicating and the treatment at home, or else it's just not financially feasible to keep those animals. Obviously for emergencies, you weigh out your investment in that animal, and that could be financial or emotional, and you decide how much you're willing to put in that animal. I'm not anti-vet by any means. I took my dog to the vet last week because he had a swollen toe, and I thought it might be abscessed, and I didn't know what to do about it at home, so I took him into the vet. I am not anti-vet. However, like I said, it's part of sustainable animal husbandry to be able to treat things at home. And you know, with things like goats, whenever you have symptoms presenting that it's pretty obvious what the issue is and you have everything on hand to treat it, you treat it. That's what you do.